Welcome back. In this unit, I'm going to introduce a new tool called jQuery. And before we get writing jQuery, I'm going to take a little bit to talk about conceptually what it is, and then talk about why you would use jQuery and why you might not use it, and give you a little bit of my own opinion on that debate. Okay, let's get started. So what is jQuery? If you've done any research on your own, if you've been taking any classes online or reading books, you've probably encountered the term before, and you may have learned a little bit of it as well. And that's because it is the most popular tool out there for JavaScript. It's the most popular JavaScript library, period. And what it does is it helps us manipulate the DOM. So I have the jQuery docs open here, the official homepage, jQuery.com, and I'm just going to read briefly this paragraph right here. So it tells us jQuery is a fast, small, and feature-rich JavaScript library. It makes things like HTML document traversal and manipulation, event handling, animation, and AJAX much simpler with an easy-to-use API that works across a multitude of browsers. With a combination of versatility and extensibility, jQuery has changed the way that millions of people write JavaScript. To sum that up, jQuery is a JavaScript library that makes our lives easier. It helps us do things like selecting elements and manipulating elements, changing styles, adding event handlers, animating things, and AJAX, which we'll talk about in another unit. So the point of jQuery is that it helps us do things faster, and it makes it easier to do those things. Now let's talk about the term JavaScript library. So this says here that jQuery is a fast, small, and feature-rich JavaScript library. So what is a library? The concept of a library in JavaScript is actually one that exists in other programming languages as well. The core idea is that we can take code that someone else wrote, and we can add it to our own project and use it inside of our own code. So that's all that jQuery is. It's a single file that someone else wrote, a team wrote now, with a bunch of methods and properties inside of it, and then we just add it to our own project so that we can use all of those methods. And I'll show you on the API docs here, jQuery comes with a ton of methods. And you can see over here, let's click on one of these categories, CSS, and these are all the methods that jQuery comes with that have to do with CSS. We'll talk about how we include jQuery in just a little bit. Again, it helps us with things like selecting and manipulating elements, creating elements, adding event listeners, animating, adding effects, and then this last thing, AJAX, which we haven't talked about yet.